Good day, everyone. This is the Group 7 pre-final test performance with the topic of quality culture changing hearts, minds, and attitudes. After doing a research, reading the chapter, and reviewing the materials presented, we will be able to understand what a quality culture is. Quality culture versus traditional cultures. Why is maybe necessary to change leaders to activate cultural change? Learn what a quality culture looks like. Counter resistance to change. Establish equality culture and maintain equality culture. To understand equality culture, one must first understand a organizational culture. An organizational culture has the following elements. First is a business improvement. The environment where an organization needs to operate is a vital factor that determines its culture. Organizations that operate in a very competitive business improvement that changes quickly and continually are likely to develop change-oriented culture. Organizations that operate in a stable market where competition is limited may develop don't rock the boat culture. Following is the organizational values. It describes what the organization thinks is important. An organization's values are the heart and soul of its culture. Third is the cultural role models. Are employees at any level in the organization who personify the organization's values. When role models retire or die, they become ends in their organization, and when they are still active, they serve as living examples of what the organization wants its employee to be. Next is the organizational rights, rituals, and customs. Express the organization's unwritten rules about how things are done, how employees dress, interact with each other, and approach their work are part of this element of organizational culture. And lastly, it's the cultural transmitters. Are the vehicles by which an organization's culture is passed down from generation to generation of employees. The grapevine, which is an informal channel of communication business, is an example of cultural transmitters. Grapevine used to refer to the circulation of rumors and unofficial information. Example, I'd heard through the grapevine that the business was nearly settled. And now, let's understand what quality culture is. A quality culture is an organizational value system that results in an environment that is conducive to establishment of continual improvement in quality. It consists of values, traditions, procedures, and expectations that promote quality. And now we understand what quality culture is. Let's proceed to the quality culture versus traditional cultures. So this is an organization that develop and maintain equality culture will differ significantly from those with a traditional culture in the following areas. And these following areas are the operating philosophy, objectives, management approach, attitude towards customers, problem-solving approach, supply relationship, and performance improvement approach. And now for our following topic is all about the activating cultural change. To attempt the implementation of total quality without creating a quality culture is to invite failure. Several primary reasons cultural change must either precede or at least parallel the implementation of total quality are: Number 1. Change cannot occur in a hostile environment. Number 2. Moving to total quality takes time. Number 3. It can be difficult to overcome the past. Change cannot occur in a hostile environment. Total quality approach might be radically different from what the management is accustomed to. Employees who are used to competing against their fellow employees for promotions and wage increases may not be open, mutually supportive internal partnerships and teamwork. Managers who are used to sitting in their lonely towers at the top of the pecking order and showing edicts from on high are likely to reject the concept of employee involvement and empowerment. Situations such as these can create an environment that is hostile toward change, no matter how desirable that change is. Change can be difficult even when people want change. It can be impossible in a hostile environment. 2. Moving to total quality takes time. In a conversion to total quality, positive results are rarely achieved in the short run. The nature of total quality is such that the organization may have to go down somewhat before it can turn things around and start to come up. These characteristics gives non-believers and people who just don't want to change, and such people are majority at first, the opportunity to promote the "I told you it wouldn't work" syndrome. 3. It can be difficult to overcome the past. Employees who have worked in an organization for any period of time have probably seen a variety of management fads come and go. Promoting the latest management gimmick and then letting it die for lack of interest may be part of the existing organizational culture. If this is the case, it will be difficult to overcome the past. The past is not just an important part of an organization's culture. It can be the most difficult part to overcome. Employees might remember earlier fads and gimmicks and characterize total quality as being just the latest one. And now we will proceed to changing leaders to activate cultural change. Cultural change is one of the most difficult challenges an organization will ever face. It is hard to achieve, even under the best of circumstances. Leadership from the top is essential. Consequently, sometimes an organization's culture simply cannot be changed without a change in leadership. Senior executives who fail to comprehend the need to change, who fail to create a sense of urgency when needed, and who fail to follow through the changes they initiated are poor candidates to lead an organization through a major cultural change. Culture change requires support, ideas, and leadership from employees at all levels.
Laying the foundation for a quality culture. Establishing a quality culture is a lot like constructing a building. According to Peter Scholtes, management should begin developing an understanding of laws of organizational change. They are: understand the history behind the current culture. Don't temper and systems, improve them. Be prepared to listen and observe. Involve everyone affected by change in making it. First is understand. Quality is at its heart a cultural concept. The tone for an organization's culture is set by the CEO and executives manager. Number 2, assess.
Assess existing corporate culture by completing a survey instrument, and the average for each criterion should be compiled. Number 3, plan. Based on the survey results, for example, if the employees do not know the mission of the organization, specific actions should be planned for correcting this problem. 4. Expect. Provide quality-related training for personnel at all levels and set quality-related goals for teams, units, departments, and divisions of organizations. Number 5 is model. Executive managers and supervisors must be a role model for quality-related attitudes and behaviors expected of personnel. 6 is oriented. New employee orientation should have a quality component. Number 7, mentor. Organizations can help their personnel develop quality positive attitudes and behaviors. Number 8 is train. All personnel need to understand that the organization's survival depends on its ability to compete successfully. 9 is monitor. Quality positive attitudes needs to be reinforced and quality negative attitudes need to be corrected. Number 10 is reinforced and maintain. Quality-related attributes and behaviors should be factors in all decisions about raises, promotion, and recognition awards. And now for our next topic is all about
learning what a quality culture looks like. Part of laying the groundworks or the foundation for a quality culture is understanding what one looks like. Any executive team that hopes to change the culture of its organization should know the law of organization change, understand characteristics of organizations that have strong quality cultures, widely share philosophy of management, emphasize on the human resources to the organization, ceremonies to celebrate organizational events, recognition and rewards for successful employees, effective internal networks for communicating the culture, informal rules of behaviors, strong value system, higher standards of performance, and defined organizational characters.
We also have countering resistance to cultural change. So change is resisted in any organization. Resistance to change is normal for organizational behavior. Continual improvement means continual change. So why change is difficult? So according to Juran, he describes that organization change as clash between cultures. So in countering resistance to cultural change, we have here advocates of change, resistors, and resistors of change. So in advocates of change, we have here desired change and benefits of change. While in resistance of change, we have here desired status quo and consequences of change. Countering resistance to cultural change, we have 3 figures. So in figure 1, 2 separate organizational culture relating to change. So there are different perceptions to the same proposed change in organizations, so which are the same change and different perceptions. So in figure 1, we have here proposed change, perception of advocates, and perception of resistors. So in proposed change, it is automate production processes, initiate employee involvement and empowerment, establish a supplier partnership, and establish an employee education and training program, and join a manufacturing network. While in perception of advocates, it is improved productivity, focus more mental resources on continuous improvement, mutually beneficial business alliances, and more knowledgeable, more highly skilled workforce, and enhanced competitiveness, shared cost, and shared resources. And lastly, perception of resistance. It is threat to job security, loss of authority, disruption of established purchasing networks, and cost too much, and competitors will take advantage of what they learn about us. To figure 2, different perceptions of same change. So how to facilitate change? The responsibility to facilitate change is necessarily falls to its advocates. We have here begin with a new advocacy paradigm, understand concern of potential resistors, and implement change promoting strategies. So begin with a new advocacy paradigm. The first step is to adapt a facilitating paradigm and understand the concerns of resistors like fear, loss of control, uncertainty, and more work. And implement change promoting strategy, which involve potential resistors, avoid surprises, move slowly at first, start small and be flexible, create a positive environment, incorporate the change, respond quickly and positively, work with established leaders, and treat people with dignity and respect, and be constructive. So in figure 3, steps in facilitating change. Understand the concerns of potential resistors. People resist change for following reasons. First is fear. People fear for unknown. Change brings with it the unwanted specter of the unknown. And people fear the unknown. Worst case scenarios are assumed and compounded by rumors. In this way, fear trends to feed out itself and growing with time. Second is loss of control. Change can threaten their sense of security. People value having a sense of control over their lives. There is security in control. Change can threaten the sense of security and cause people to feel as if they are losing control of their own jobs and areas of responsibility and so on. And third, uncertainty. People like to know where they stand. Uncertainty is difficult to deal with. For better or for worse, people like to know where they stand. Will I be able to handle this? What will happen to me if I can't? These are the types of questions people have when confronted with change. Fourth is more work. Change sometimes means more work.
People may have to learn more information or develop new skills. Change sometimes means more work, at least at first. This concern includes work in the form of learning. In order to make the change, people may have to learn more information or develop new skills. For an undefined period, they may have to work longer hours. And for our last topic, maintaining equality culture. Establishing quality culture is challenging undertaking for any organization. It is even more challenging to maintain it over time. In order to maintain quality culture, organizations must foster the following behaviors. Number 1 is to maintain an awareness of quality as a key cultural issue. Regular dissemination of quality goals and corresponding results relating to these goals. Number 2 is to make sure that there is plenty of evidence of management's leadership. Employees need to see managers walking the walk as well as talking the talk. Number 3 is to empower employees and encourage self-development and self-initiative. Jobs should be designed for self-control. Seek and use employee input and encourage self-directed teamwork. Number 4 is to keep employees involved. Make it easy for employees to recommend improvements and involve them in product and process design review. And lastly, recognize and reward behaviors that tend to nurture and maintain the quality culture. Rewards are tangible benefits such as salary increases, bonuses, incentives, and promotions. At times, it might be necessary to change an organization's leadership team to ensure needed cultural changes. This situation arises when the organization's senior executives have a great deal invested in the status quo and therefore are staunch defenders of orthodoxy. This is the end of our discussion, and we hope this will help you to better understand the quality culture changing hearts, minds, and attitudes. I am Jubilee Hiniralaw.
I am Jessamine Galan.
I am Lester Gamas.
I am Edel Garcia.
And we are signing off. See you next year.